Hey, what's good? Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. Today we're getting ready to change the front brake pads on a 2016 Mazda CX-5. You're gonna need a 21 millimeter to remove your lugs. So let's go ahead and get those off. Make sure we're at a good decent speed. And I always practice, well, not practice anymore. I always follow the lug pattern as far as removal and the star pattern because it builds muscle memory for you to put it back on. Some people take them off like this or reverse, but you still have to put them on in a star pattern, okay? All right, so we move this guy out the way for the moment. And I'm going to set up on the right hand side. That's because of where the caliper is located. And let's set this over here and let's crank this wheel out some. Give me a sec. All right, so we back in here. Sometimes I don't know what I'm coming into because I work on all years and makes, different makes. So sometimes I don't know right off top, so I don't usually have a straight up part list off top, but you'll need a 14 millimeter to remove your caliper. You'll need a screwdriver or something to pry this over. So let's get to it while I'm talking. So right tighty, lefty loosey, check your wrench. Front goes down. Give them some smacks. All right, got those broke free. Let's go ahead and get those up and out. Check my wrench. And I always put mine in top and bottom how they come out, just because sometimes when they're real old and real rusty, then sometimes they don't want to go back in. They are universal. You can use them top and bottom. They're universal, but sometimes the corrosion and stuff, in this case, it's not that case on this specific vehicle. So let's get to it. Let's get our caliper back. Sometimes you have to compress them back, and sometimes you don't. Let's see if I can get a good lip. All right, and I should be able to just slide it off now. All right, got this out the way. I was supposed to have been doing rotors too, but the rotors look real good, so we're not going to do those. And caliper hanger, hang it out the way. Check your guide pins. Make sure they move freely, and these do. All right, so we're going to pop our pads out. You can use a screwdriver if you have to. It's time to match them up before we get started on in. Get on in there. But you always match up the parts, no matter what it is. So yeah, I recommend you match up the parts. So, all right. Got one side that's down a little further than the other. So that causes uneven wear sometimes. These are glazed a little bit. So let's mate them. These are the same correct pads. And we're gonna get some brake grease and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and sit these down. Your brake screamer, it goes on the inside, the flag here. Some of them you have to rock in. I think this one might be the one. Let's see. Yep. And we got new clips and everything. And let's see. Screamer. Yep. So we got two new screamers for the front. Some vehicles, they already come pre-installed. So if you don't know, you can just kind of look at your old pad and match it up. So I'm going to set this one right now and put this up here. We got any magnetism? Yeah, a little bit. All right. So grab your pad like such. You got a little groove right here. See if that show up on the cam real quick. I want everybody to see. Got a little spot right here. Boom. That's where your screamer sits, just like that. So let's put it on there. And let's rock it on. And it should just snap in just like that. Okay. You might have to adjust it a little bit like that. So it snaps in just like that. And we're gonna sit this here. We got that one set up. And we're just gonna sit it out the way for a minute. And we already matched up our pads. So let's pop them on out. Get our new brake clips. If yours are in good condition, you don't have to change them, but if they come with it, change them. I recommend you go ahead and do it. All right, let's see if they're universal, meaning top and bottom the same. And they look like they are. Okay, the only difference between these, this one has like a little tip on the tip. And these are aftermarket clips, so should fit the same. And if not, you can go back in with your old ones, as long as they're not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead and set the new clips in. Should pop in. I usually take a screwdriver and mash inside like this, just to make sure it sits good, and check my rotor, make sure there's no scraping, and let's see, that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed to the top. And try not to bend them if you're not changing them, because some pads don't come with new clips. So just try to pry them out without bending them. All right, so let's check the other one, make sure they're all the same. And they all look the same. So yeah, either side, passenger, driver, they're the same clips. So let's slide this one up in there. All right, there we go. So we got that one in. Smash it up in there good. And if it's not in there good, you're gonna be adjusting quite a bit, okay? So, some people use brake grease on the sliding pins. I am going to, so let me grab some of that. You don't have to, but I do recommend you put some on the back of your pads. Some people do, some people don't. Just kind of keeps them quieter. So, I recommend to do that. I usually just take a little bit. Let me see if I got a rag close to me. Something to wipe my hands off with real fast. Let's see. And this will do for now. All right, so I usually glaze these a little bit, just a touch. Let's see if I can get some out. There we go. And just touch inside like that and just scrub it with your finger. You should only have to do a little bit. I do not recommend you glob this, because dirt and sand and all that stuff from the road cakes up in here, but just a nice little touch like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get one of the pads in. I usually have an issue in the back just because you can't see as well as the front, and sometimes the clips don't want to line up, and sometimes I end up going on my back. So sometimes if the top doesn't go in first, let me move around so you guys can see better, because I know I'm blocking the camera. So you can also come down and start from the bottom. Get the bottom one in and just kind of work over the top, and you might have to adjust a little bit. Let's see, there we go. This has like a little spring right here. They're kind of springy on the clips, so you have to kind of mash it in a little bit. But we got one pad in. Let's grab our other pad. I'll find the other one in a minute. So let's just grab a spare. 1, 2. No, they're both in there still. All right, same thing for the outside. And rock it back, mash it up. And you can also take a screwdriver just to make sure they're set. Tap on them like that. These are tight, so we're not going to worry about it. Now it's time to compress this caliper back. Now, you can use your traditional brake pad kit, which I'll show you here in a second, which would be one of these guys. This is your traditional brake pad kit. You would need a disc to adapt to this. It's basically going to hit here. You're going to connect this piece here, but we're not going to use this because I have another vehicle to do. So we're going to use the speed one. Just going to set this back in here. And you have a right hand twist and a left hand twist to get those out, as far as with this kit. So I'm going to use my brake pad spreader, similar, but you have it set up here. This would be for the front, this would be for the rear. You just remove those. These are about 25 on Amazon. And let's see if we're set pretty good. All right, smack it down, make sure we're good. And let's flip our switch. It has a switch on it. And if your caliper is not going back smooth, then you possibly have an issue with either your brake hose is trying to collapse, or your caliper itself maybe trying to seize up. Hopefully I can sit that there for now. So we're going to take this all the way back. Some of them go back flush, some of them don't. Let's see if I got some more metal. There we go. And just work it back. Okay, and you check your rotor, make sure it's not scraping up against your clips. And that looks good. Got a nice gap all the way around my clips. All right. go ahead and proceed on getting it back. So some calibers, they go back flush. This specific one is a flush caliber. Some of them have a little lip still, but you want to go back until it stops. That way, if you try to cheat, you're going to end up having to readjust this and put it back on. So just go back till it stops. All right, so we're at a stop. Leave that there for a second. Let's glaze these pads on the outside. Just enough, just enough. You don't have to glob it. Just enough to spread on the whole pad. All right, so we got those lubed. Save that for the other side. All right, now we're gonna break this free. Back it on out, like so. And we're gonna flip it around. Rotor's good, the guide pins are good. Let's go ahead and slide this back on. And these have like a little sleeve on it, so you want to adjust that. Let me show you that. It's a cube right here, like a box, so it's kind of like an oval, but you want that to rest on the caliber like such. All right, let's go ahead and do our top bottom like they came out. Give it some wiggles and twists. Should lock in. Okay, we got one done. Let's go down to the bottom. Get that one started, and hand tighten as much as you can if you are able to. If your brakes are real rusty, and you might not be able to hand tighten them, but as much as you can just to make sure you don't cross thread. And let's go ahead and slap this guy back on. All right, switch our wrench, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and we'll be going up. So you want to use a 6-point socket just in case yours is real rusty. You can use a 12, but it's a possibility to strip it. But let's get these both tight. Sometimes you have to hold it a little bit. There we go. And we lock, so we're going to smack it. Just till the wrench starts bouncing back like that, excuse me. So it'll bounce back on you when it's tight. Same thing with the upper one. And that is tight. So this is how you change the front brakes on a 2016 Mazda CX-5. Has the 4-cylinder, should apply to the 6. This is pretty much the same setup for the Mazda CX-9. Only difference is this has one single piston and the Mazda CX-9 has a dual piston. But yep, this is how you do it. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. For those who have, I appreciate you. It does help build the channel. If you don't want to see my content all the time, turn off the notifications, but the subscriptions do help me build my channel. But this is how you change the front brake pads. And always remember, rust is the enemy on these things. That's what causes us to work so hard on removing this stuff for our suspension and anything else. But yep, hit thumbs up. Appreciate you watching. Hopefully this helps you out in your repair. And I'm out.